2,000 years later.
Sup?
My next door neighbor is the Grinch. Yes, I'm sure of it now.
What?
He looks exactly like the Grinch. The only difference is he wears human skin. Since he moved here, weird things have started happening in our town. He says his name is Alfred, but I know he's lying. Alfred barely talks to anyone. He never comes out of the house. Everyone in town avoids him like he doesn't exist, but I know he's up to something these days. I tried telling my parents that he was the Grinch, but they said that it was my hyperactive imagination. Last night, I was sleeping in my room when I heard a stray cat meowing loudly. I looked out the window and saw Alfred sitting on his porch like a four-legged animal and hissing at the cat. I speak your language too. He then moved his long arms with sharp nails drastically in the air, and the cat ran away in fear. I was stunned to see this abnormal behavior. Alfred went inside his house and then came out with a garbage bag. I kept on watching him. A weird liquid was dripping from his bag. He went to the backyard of his house. I ran upstairs to the bathroom as the window had a perfect view of Alfred's backyard. I wanted to find out what he was up to. As I peeked from the bathroom window, I saw him again. There was a big hole already dug in his backyard. He suspiciously looked around and then buried the garbage bag in it. I was watching him silently, and he was inches away from covering the hole when suddenly a hand popped out of the garbage bag. My heart stopped. I couldn't believe my eyes. Alfred was burying a dead body in his backyard. Suddenly, he looked around and sniffed the air like a hungry tiger and looked directly at the bathroom.
If y'all made eye contact, it's raps. It's over. You can't tell nobody, because obviously your parents don't believe you. You know, they probably just gonna brush it off. You know, the only thing you can do now is
No. I quickly crouched down. Drops of sweat appeared on my forehead. Did he see me?
yes.
What if he realized I was watching him get rid of his victim? I went back to my room and stayed wide awake for almost the entire night. When I woke up, I decided to head downstairs to tell my parents what I saw last night. On my way, I overheard them talking to someone. Yes, the cops are looking for him. He went to the pub last night, but no one saw him after that. What about his daughter? Her grandmother took over. Poor kid lost her mom, and now her dad went missing. Mom, what's going on? Oh, honey, it's Patricia.
Patricia?
Her dad went missing last night. What? I've seen Patricia's dad. A flashback came back to my mind. The disappearance of Patricia's dad triggered my mind. So maybe the body Alfred buried. Kevin? Yeah, Mom? Aunt Sally made cookies for you. Take some for Patricia. Poor girl must be heartbroken before Christmas. Yeah, Mom. My mom packed a box of cookies, and I got on my bike to drop it off at Patricia's. Just when I set out on the sidewalk, Alfred blocked my way. He had bloodshot eyes and a scary grin on his face. My, look who's finally out of the house. I thought it would be best not to reply and just ignore him. So I moved my bike to drive past him, and he blocked my way again. Come on, we are neighbors. Don't you think it's a little rude not to talk to your neighbor? I only talk to humans. Move out of my way. What makes you think I'm not?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Try that on your neighbor. You know? Or try that on somebody that's in your neighborhood. And they try to talk to you. You be like, sorry, I only talk to humans. Oh my God.
Human. You could fool everyone, Alfred, but not me. Alfred suddenly snatched my hand, grasping it real tight, and spoke in a groggy spine
Nobody else see this shit, Cap?
voice. Listen, kiddo. You think you know it all, but you don't. He then pushed my bike, which made me tumble, but I managed not to fall. I saw him walk away in the opposite direction. I could feel my heart racing. I'm certain now that the body Alfred buried in his backyard was Patricia's dad. I rode my bike to my destination. Patricia's house was decorated with Christmas lights and colorful chains. Her grandmother took me to the living room. She went to call Patricia as I eagerly watched the Christmas tree. It was decorated with so many things. And on top of that, the Christmas tree hung a Grinch face. Do you like my tree? I looked behind to see Patricia standing.
So now they in cahoots with the Grinch. Hell no.
With a mysterious smile. She wore a beautiful red dress. There was no sadness or worry on her face. I felt a little weird seeing her so calm like that. Yeah, it's beautiful. My mom sent these cookies for you. Oh, thank you. I love cookies. Any news about your dad? Don't know. I don't even care if he ever comes back.
Don't know. Don't know. They in cahoots.
You don't care? Patricia, I think Alfred did something to your dad. I swear I saw him last night. You should go home. It'll start snowing soon. Merry Christmas, Kevin. After saying that, she walked upstairs, and I stood there in shock. I never expected Patricia to react that way. My God, what if Alfred hypnotized her? Doesn't the Grinch possess superpowers, or... I don't know, but someone needs to stop that evil man. On my way home, I couldn't help but think about the entire situation. Should I call the cops? Should I tell my dad about the dead body? They might not believe me. What if I made a secret call and informed the police? Yes, I could do that. They'll put the Grinch behind bars. On my way home, I used my phone to make an anonymous 911 call to inform them to check Alfred's backyard. I told them that there was a human body there. I went home and waited for the cops to arrive. My dad was decorating the Christmas tree, and my mom was making a special dinner when the loud cop sirens resonated around the neighborhood. They rushed to the door, opened it to see what was happening outside. I came out with a smile on my face. I was so happy to know that the Grinch would finally be taken away. He'll get the appropriate punishment for ruining Patricia's Christmas. Open the door and step out of the house, Alfred. The cops knocked on his door. Everyone in the neighborhood watched them in a tense silence. After a few seconds, the door creaked open, and Alfred came out. I couldn't believe my eyes at the way he was dressed. He was wearing a Santa Claus jacket and hat set, green nylon leggings, and a pair of red elf shoes. He was the Grinch. The outfit made it look so natural. Sir, we had a call and we need to search your backyard immediately. Alfred quickly shifted his creepy gaze at me.
Oh no!
His eyes were glowing. He licked his lips and smiled ear to ear. Sure, go ahead. I'm all toasty inside. Within the next few minutes, the cops found Patricia's father, Ralph Simon's dismembered dead body, buried inside Alfred's backyard. More cops were called, and handcuffs were put on Alfred's creepy hands. Everyone stared in shock. People couldn't believe that he managed to kill that man and bring his body to his house without being seen by anyone. My chest doubled in pride. I helped catch a killer. I set the town Grinch free on Christmas. There might have been no family Christmas dinner where the central topic wasn't about the shocking turn of events. I slept peacefully that night, but my peace didn't last long. The next morning I woke up. I heard my mom calling my name. Kevin? Kevin? Patricia's here to see you. I got up and ran downstairs, thinking that she came to thank me. I thought she guessed I was the anonymous caller. Patricia, I know Alfred put you under his spell. That day, I was trying to tell you everything, but you... Shut up, Kevin. You should be ashamed of yourself. What? What are you saying? I helped the cops catch your father's killer. You know nothing, Kevin. He was never the monster. It was my father who was the real monster. He came home drunk every night and beaten. I was crying on the porch that night before Christmas when Alfred saw me. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I said I wanted freedom. He saved me from my abusive dad. He gave that man exactly what he deserved. And you sent him to jail.
So, Alfred could have just called the police, or he could have beaten him unconscious, or did anything else except to kill him. Alfred, nah.
Hate you, Kevin. You should have known better. Enjoy your Christmas. Patricia slammed the door and left. I stood frozen. I didn't know how to feel. Regardless of the terrible things someone had done, does it justify killing them? Despite the messed up nature of the story, I couldn't help feel that it was me who stole Christmas, rather than the Grinch. I was sleeping in my room, dreaming of Santa Claus.
God damn.
He was riding a sleigh pulled by reindeer, hovering amidst the clouds and then over the moon. The sky was filled with stars, and the night of Christmas was all set to shower joy over the children. It was one of the most beautiful dreams I ever had. When suddenly, my room door creaked open, and the annoying, reverting cry of the door woke me up. Rubbing my sleepy eyes, I saw a tall, fat man standing in my room. I could barely see his face, but I did notice his eyes. His glowing yellow eyes were staring at me. He was dressed as Santa Claus, but his arrival didn't give me any joy. I was scared instead. Who are you? You know who I am. I'm Santa.
You not my Santa Claus. You not my Santa Claus. You may be their Santa Claus, their Santa Claus, their Santa Claus, Adam Santa Claus, Sierra Santa Claus, Tom Santa Claus. You not my 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 Santa.
You're Santa? Where's your bag filled with gifts? Downstairs. Want to come check them out? His glowing eyes had a hypnotic invite to them that I just couldn't ignore. I got down from the bed and slowly started to follow him down the stairs. The entire house was in darkness, but the living room downstairs had a little bit of light coming from the fireplace. Probably my drunk dad forgot to put it out before going to bed. He stopped near the fireplace, facing his back at me, staring at the cookies and milk I left for him on the table. Are those for me? Yes. Mom said to leave them for you. How sad. Why? You don't like it? Exactly. That's why I'm sad. I like it so much. His wide fingers with bumpy knuckles stretched out to the plate of cookies, grabbed it in one swift motion, and started jamming his mouth with the cookies. The more he ate, the more his mouth went bigger. His white beard fell off from his cheekbone because of his vigorous eating style.
Do you understand how traumatizing that is for that little boy? Oh, shit.
Once his mouth was heavily filled with cookies, he went for the glass of milk. Like a deranged, hungry man, he chugged the entire glass, spilling milk all over his red coat. For the first time, I noticed his pocket on the red coat. A huge, sharp knife was lurking in it. The steel of the knife had blood on it. finishing his meal, he let out a burp. Oh, that was a good eat. Especially after the heavy work. What kind of work? Huh? Oh, Santa's job is tough, kid. So, what's your name? Kyle?
Kyle.
So, Kyle, how old are you? 8. We walked to the decorated Christmas tree standing in the corner. I noticed a large yellow gift box with a red ribbon lying under it. It was so big that I thought it must have been a robot car, or at least like a big toy. I brought a gift for you. I kept staring at the box with surprised eyes. He let out a huge grin and said, "Go, open it. Take a look." I reached for the box, opening the lid slowly, and as I did, my heart began to race. Suddenly, I started to think that something bad must be inside of it. Then, I opened the box. A pair of hands were resting inside the box. There was no blood on them, just pale, cold hands severed from the wrists, cut clean. The hands belonged to 2 different people. Both of the hands had my parents' wedding rings. What is that? People who didn't pay their debts, Kyle.
What?
I started screaming and ran in the direction of my room. But he grabbed my shirt and pushed me to the other side. I fell onto the wooden floor, yet still managed to stand up and run inside the closest room. After getting inside, I locked the door, hearing his chasing feet stop right outside. He probably ran after me, but I got in here first, fortunately. Open the door! I'm not gonna hurt you. You're no good to me, dead. Mom, Dad. Oh, they're right behind you. I turned around, and to my horror, my parents were dead, lying on the floor. Their mouths were open. Their eyes were wide. Not a single drop of blood on them or anywhere in the room. I stood up, crying. I was only 8 years old, but my mom, luckily, taught me how to call 911. I sat down and started sobbing on the floor. I was a kid, stuck in a room with my parents' dead bodies and the murderer outside my door. I started searching the room for a phone. I couldn't find any. The fake Santa kept knocking on the door, screaming, "Don't force me to take down this door. Come out, and I swear I'll spare your life." That's when I noticed the half-open window on the opposite side. It was a ground floor window. I could escape to my neighbor's house for help. I had just come up with the idea when the door slammed open,
God damn.
breaking the locks and the lights turned on. I saw the man entering my room. He was grinding his teeth in anger. For the first time I saw his face. I will never forget the cruelty on there. Now what? Where are you going to hide now? I looked at the window and then at him. It was still possible.
Yeet!
I ran for my life. Hey, where do you think you're going? His big hands tried to grope at me, but I got saved by inches this time. I jumped out of the window and fell onto the grass, luckily without injury. I got up and started running again. I crossed the fence without any trouble, and as I looked back at the window one last time, I saw the man staring at me.
God damn.
He had a dead, emotionless face. Then, he yelled, "Ho! Ho! 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 Merry Christmas." I started crying, but I didn't stop. I jumped onto the porch of my neighbor and started buzzing their doorbell like crazy. Everyone woke up, and a woman opened the door. Luckily, I knew her. She was friends with my mother. She took me in and asked me all these questions. I could only say one sentence. Santa killed my mom and dad. Then I fainted into her arms. To date, the murder of my parents that I witnessed in my childhood remains a mystery. My dad's lawyer told my aunt, whom I understood after growing up, that my parents loaned money from some mafia gang and got in trouble with them. I will never forget the man in my house who came dressed as Santa Claus on Christmas night. The sight of that yellow box with red ribbons still traumatizes me to this day. I can't tolerate the color of yellow or red. It's like a trigger to me. I don't know if the cops will ever be able to catch the guy, but one thing that still reeks in my mind is how the hell there was no blood. As if my parents' veins were sucked dry by some creature. I have so many questions and zero answers.
Christmas is ruined. It's ruined, man. Heartstrings, ugly. That's crazy. He would never ever look at Santa Claus the same way again. I feel like if he does, after that point, regardless of how old he is, he might just run away in fear, regardless of where he at, and regardless of how old he is. He might just drop everything and haul ass if he ever sees Santa Claus again. Oh my God, that's traumatizing. I'm so sorry, man. Christmas will never be the same ever. And I felt like the first boy in the first story did the right thing. You know? That's how I feel. But keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.